say something about like my son or I talk about what I do, it's like people don't really, they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like I feel a lot of people don't talk about it, and it's not very widely like known really what
Yeah.
Tourette's is. I feel like I'm always educating people about it.
1000%. And that's like sometimes what I sit and think about, which is crazy to me. Cause I think like for me, I was diagnosed, I think it adds up to like 26, 27 years ago. And
Okay.
yeah, like I see it a lot more now. I've immersed myself though within the Tourette community. But like to sit and think, I'm like, how have we not, how is still every single time, one, people say, what?
Yeah.
Or two, how is it still when I see the person with Tourette's on TV, like they're just there for a joke? Like how? It's been 27 years. How has a character not just had Tourette's syndrome? We've come
Mhm.
so far in so many other areas, and we've come so far with Tourette's syndrome too. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Um, and that's a big thanks to all the amazing advocates that I am lucky to know and lucky to have met in person at like the conference and stuff like that. But like, I can't get over the fact that Tourette's syndrome is still the the past that people have. Like
Yeah.
we're still allowed to be made fun of, and we're wrong somehow for being upset about it.
Right.
Like we're the ones that we can't take a joke, we can't do this, and it's crazy to me because I can take a joke. I think a lot of things are funny. I do joke around about my Tourette syndrome. Like how do I not? Like I have to just to get
Right.
through it. I make jokes about it and stuff like that. And that's one different because I have it. And two, I'm not playing into the stigma, but it's I was in actually, and this is the one time I think I actually took something at work where it was actually really helpful. It gave a really good analogy that, and it was about microaggressions because like, and it gave the analogy like, yeah, if you get one mosquito bite, it might itch and be irritating, but whatever. But if you have 100 mosquito bites all over you, it's overwhelming and it's very irritating. And it's not just like a brush off type situation. And that's what I try to tell people, even though the internet is it's a love hate thing as well for me. It can be so powerful and it can be so ugly. And I've received a lot of ugly comments lately. And but I try to tell people, I'm like, what you don't understand is it's not that I can't take a joke. I've just heard the same joke for 27 years.
Right.
And in that meantime, there's no actual representation alongside of that joke. So that people are actually learning the real thing. Like if that was the case, I don't think for me, I would get as angry or frustrated by it. And I honestly don't think a lot of people with Tourette syndrome would either, because at least people would still know what it really is alongside. Like, I still don't want them to just be okay with making fun of it, but at least I would know that there's some real representation because people still think that's all it is. Like, and that's just the double-edged sword too, because if you have it, that you have coprolalia and you swear, then no, you don't. Like, that's not real. That's a joke on TV. If you don't have it, well, it's not real because you're supposed to be swearing. Like, it's like, what do you want me to be? Please enlighten me. Please tell me what my Tourette syndrome is supposed to do so you can accept it. Like, it's
You know
just,
what? I was going to say, well, first of all, thank you for putting yourself out there on social media. I know how hard it is. I know the criticisms that people like. I just think those people are just so grossly uneducated, and
yes.
they have something going on in their own life that they
Yep.
feel the need. So it has nothing to do with you or anyone else in the Tourette community. And
Yeah.
hopefully you let that go like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
because
I
yeah,
delete them. I won't
yeah.
engage with them. They want an argument out of me. They won't get it.
And I have to say that I think it's helpful for a lot of people, and this is just my opinion, knowing like people that Louis Capaldi or, why can I think of her name?
Uh,
Who
Billie,
just won the Grammy.
Billie Eilish.
Um, you know, Billie Eilish.
Yes.
We know they have it. Maybe they don't talk about it a lot, but it just goes to show they're really famous people who have like unlimited access to money. And it just goes to show, obviously, if they can cure it by some certain diet or something, they probably would have. So
Yeah.
obviously, there's not a cure for it, but it's affecting people's life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to look at it that way. And just from saying what you said, I just have to bring something up that's happened in my life with my son. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it's a little frustrating
Yeah.
about how people see Tourette's. I have people in our life who I've known for years, and they'll come up to me and whisper to me, "He's doing so good today. I haven't heard him make any noises." And I'm like I have to just go, okay. So like if they had some disease, am I supposed to go up to them and be like, you look like you're doing so good today? Are you not
Right.
having, like, why? In our house, the way we do it, and this is what my son wants. It's called business as usual.
Yep.
This is a part of him.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to talk about it like it's some like disease that's like he has to be quarantined for or something. Like
Yeah.
this is him and this is what he has. Just like I have issues too. I have health issues that I deal with, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to make it a publicized thing about it every day or talk about it, like whisper about it. Like he seems good today. I haven't heard him make any noises. I'm
Yeah.
like, can you not say that like where he could actually hear you or see you saying that?
Right. And to me too, like it almost like because people have said those things to me too, or they'll be like, "Oh, you must be doing so much better." I'm like, "No, I'm having a good day, and now I'm gonna start taking since you brought it up. So thanks for that." But it emphasizes to me the wrong thing. Like I wouldn't want like I'm trying to think about as a person who's not a parent, but my child hearing like this, him or her being celebrated for not ticking as much. I don't want because that does the exact opposite. I'm like, oh, so they don't like me when I'm around and I tick a lot. Like, yeah, we can celebrate. Like at the end of the day, I might be like, man, I actually had a pretty good day today. Like I actually didn't tick that much. Whatever. Okay. But like people like was like that. That's just like inputting I feel into the brain. Like, oh, they only like it when I don't do this. So
Because you
now,
know why? It's almost like people want to feel comfortable. And it's like
yes.
sometimes maybe it makes them uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in life, nobody knows what anyone's going through. And like you could wake up tomorrow. You don't know. You could develop a tick tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think it's just we all have to just live our lives and just be kind. The thing that you just said, and I want to say something about it, and then if you have any other questions,
Yeah.
about talking about ticks. So when we do the therapy, we actually tell the client, like the patient and their parents, if they're not practicing the exercises that I give them, or they're not, if they're having a bad day, obviously, but otherwise, we don't want them talking about the ticks at all. They don't need to be
Yeah.
talked about. We don't bring them up because the more you bring them up is the more that, like you said, you want to do the ticks. And
Yep.
that's where another thing is. We talk to I've had people tell me that the teachers say things to the kids like, oh, you're not ticking a lot today. You must, like you just said. And it's like, no, let's not talk about the ticks.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need, and so even when I do the therapy with them, while we're practicing the exercises in that hour time span, we're actually not even talking about the ticks. I'm talking about anything other than the ticks, why we're doing the exercises, because I want to make sure they can do these exercises in everyday life when they're doing everything else.
Yeah. And that brings up a really good point that I had crossed my mind when you were talking about it. Because in my head, I was thinking, like, well, I feel like if I'm just thinking about it that much while I'm trying to do it, my body's gonna need to do it more. So that actually answers that question for me. I meant to bring it up back when you said it. But I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, I wonder what my repeating or my tick blocker would be for certain ticks that I have. Like I think about it in my head.
Well,
But
I would love to explore that with you one day if you're interested.
yeah, I might. This neck tick, it really causes some damage for me, I think. I'm afraid I'm gonna have permanent neck damage from it from time to time. Like that's the biggest one that I would want, I think, to go away.
And
Um,
I want to give you a plug too. I want everyone to go to Amazon and get your book because I just want to tell people as a parent, I just bought your book and my son doesn't really love to talk about his feelings or what he's feeling. I don't know if it's a boy thing, but reading your book, it has really helped me to know what he is probably feeling inside or some of his feelings. And I've gotten very emotional reading some of the parts because I know it's not easy to feel what you must feel growing up, but I thank you for putting it out there to help parents like me understand what my son is feeling, honestly. And I can't wait to finish the book. I'm a slow reader.
well, thank you so much. You're gonna make me cry. So,
Oh,
but thank you very, very much.
you're
But I want to
welcome.
make sure that because you are my guest, I want to make sure. So if people are watching this video, they're like, okay, I want to try it. Where do they go to get in contact with you? Do they send you an email? Like, how do they get started?
So they can email me at Shara at sharashelpfulhands.com.
Okay.
And I also have a website, sharashelpfulhands.com. They can go
Okay.
and you could see like everything about me, my pictures on there. I even offer like a meet and greet like we're doing right now where they can meet me like this just so to see if like we connect, if they feel comfortable
Yeah.
to answer. I do phone calls. Like I want people to really feel comfortable before they start working with me because it's a big thing to trust someone because they really have to tell me like a lot about their life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so is it an in-person thing, a virtual thing, or people have both options? So if they live in a different state than you, they can still contact you and work with you?
Yeah, so I do virtual for different states, different countries, and then in person. I don't have an office. I actually go to people's houses,
Oh, nice.
which I love doing because when you're in someone's environment, it makes them feel so much more comfortable.
Yeah. I
So
would
yeah, I love doing that.
yeah, it would almost I almost feel like it would be even more successful then because that's where they are all the time. So, like you said, they're more comfortable. That's awesome that you do that. Is there a certain age limit or anything like that, or a certain age you recommend people being for, like, maybe a parent watching that their child just got diagnosed for it?
It's like a huge question that a lot of people like the first question that people ask me. We say like 7, 8, 9 is like a good age to start. I
Okay.
always say that I like to talk to parents because honestly, there could be a 7-year-old that's as mature as a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there could be a 10-year-old that's not mature and they could actually act maybe more like a 7-year-old.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I go like based on a different like as basis, like so I meet the parents, I talk to them and I ask them questions about their kid. And because if they're really immature, then most likely they're not going to want to do the exercises and practice. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes parents want them to do it so bad because they want something to help them. And I get it. But if that's the case, I always tell parents maybe right away we don't start the therapy, but we do more a lot of like educational. Like I talk to them
Hmm.
about their tics. We work on different strategies to make them less anxious or different things. And then we can always come back to maybe trying the therapy a little later on, you know?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I like that a lot. That's
Yes.
to me, that shows, like, that you do care about what you're doing because you recognize that you can't always jump into it. Like, you have to like, every patient is different. Every client, every child, every person is different, so you never know. And that's the thing too is, like, you wanna feel comfortable because this is kind of, like, deep work that a person's doing with their
Mhm.
body because this is something that we have that's lifelong. So, we need to feel comfortable because there's been so many points in my life where I have been uncomfortable around people because of my Tourette syndrome, really because of them and the way they react about my Tourette syndrome. But and the thing is too is that I have spent so much of my life suppressing to try and make other people feel comfortable when that's not how it should be for people with Tourette syndrome. It should be the other way around, but I
Mhm.
think a lot of people with Tourette syndrome probably feel that way. So you making sure that you have that connection and waiting to dive into that, that's so important. I think it was before we started recording, we're talking about how a lot of doctors like they'll just go straight to like the medication, whatever, and won't really hear what the patient's trying to communicate and ask for. Because
Yeah.
medication, yeah, it works for some people, but the side effects can be terrible. The roller coaster, the on it, off of it, trying this, trying that can be terrible. And it can be an amazing thing too. I am not downgrading medication whatsoever. I am on anxiety medication right now. It has done wonders for me. But
Mhm.
my medication for Tourette syndrome, as you know, I'm sure it doesn't actually exist. It's not for us. We have to just try. So having these other alternative options is huge because there are so many limited options, I'm gonna say, for people with Tourette syndrome.
I just wanted to say two more things if we have the time.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Speaking of medication, I don't know if you heard about this. It could be a really big thing in the Tourette's world. There's that medication that's in the third phase of trial. It's called ecopipam. Did you hear about it?
No.
Okay, so my son's actually on a list. They might do a study at the hospital by me. So it's ECOPIPAM. It's in the
Okay.
third it's in the third phase of trials, and it's the only medication that is ever going to come out, hopefully in 2025, for Tourette syndrome. So I actually told the nurse practitioner that I work with because they don't, a lot of them don't, I don't know like how I just, all I do is research. When I say every
Yeah.
day, this is all I do is research. So go read about it after we get off the phone because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be something like they've never had before. It's supposed to have so many less side effects than all these medications. It's supposed to work with the different transmitters in a different way. I can't explain it because I'm not a doctor, but I have the chills in my legs and my arms because it can be so life-changing and promising for so many people. Like you said, everyone is different. It could
Yeah.
work for a lot of people, it could not work for some.
Yeah.
But at least it is giving the Tourette's community some type of hope that we know there's research being done and they actually have this medication that's like literally on the brink of coming out.
Yeah, like I am about to cry, I think, because just it makes me feel like maybe people
Are
do
listening.
care.
Yeah,
And
because
like I had chills instantly when you said that because people ask me and I'm like, no, there isn't anything for us. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like people don't care that what we go through is hard because people don't see it as hard. And so you saying that is huge. I'm not saying I'm going to run and get on it, but knowing that somebody's trying to make something for us,
yep.
I feel like you just changed my whole day.
So my son is they sent me the paperwork and if they do come to the hospital where I live with the trial, I'm gonna he said so my son's really funny. He goes, well, will I be famous if I go in the trial? And I go, actually, you will be somewhat famous because this is a medication that could potentially change the lives of so many people. And if you try it and you show that, you know, you're willing to take a chance and if you see good results, then you could give people hope.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I just wanted to say one more thing about the CBIT therapy. If people would like to find somebody in their area,
Hmm.
because not everyone wants to, if they don't live in
Yeah.
New York, and I can't, they can go on the Tourette's Association of America, and there's a whole list of CBIT providers,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
you put your zip code in, and it can help you find someone in your area.
That's
So I
amazing.
always tell people to go there first, and then
Yeah.
if they don't have anyone in their area, I'd be happy to work with them virtually.
Awesome. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
everything, all the information, for giving me hope at the end of this. Like every time I
Aw.
think about it, I feel like the chill runs down my back, like not my back, that sounds bad, just through my body all
I,
over again because I
honestly,
can't.
I feel the same way as you because to see what my son goes through some days and to know that maybe something can help him and give him a better quality of life. And for everybody that's affected by Tourette's, I mean, it would be like everything to me.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm gonna sign off this. I'm literally gonna go cry. Like,
I'm gonna actually send you the exact spelling so you can go look it up.
yes, please do because
Yes.
I can't wait. Like I feel like I want to call my husband and be like, babe, listen to
No,
what's happening. Like
it's really happening. It's in the third phase of trial. So if it gets past this third phase, that means it's gonna hopefully come out in 2025.
ah, that's amazing. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for that and for everything.
Yay.
You have
Yes.
taught me so, so much. And I can't thank you enough for spending time to be here with me, for doing this for the Tourette syndrome community, for your son. I think it's amazing what you're doing and
Thank
what you
you.
did for him and everybody like me. You're making a difference in a lot of people's lives. So thank
Thank
you
you.
so, so much again.
So are
And
you. I want everyone to I follow you on follow her on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook because honestly, I learned so much watching all your videos because I only know what I know from books. You know
yeah,
what you know because this is what you live every day. So I learned from you every day. Also, I've learned things from you that I can help with my clients because I could say, and I tell people to follow you because you can't learn just from books. You have to learn from the actual source.
you're you're just trying to make me cry, I think, at this point.
We're all battling something that maybe people can't see. So it's like in a world where you could be anything, just be kind. And we'll just
Yeah.
end on that note, right?
Yes, yeah, perfect ending. So thank you again so much, everybody. Contact Shara if you would like to get started. She is an incredible resource. Like I said, I have learned so, so much already, and maybe one day we'll be able to work together so I can get rid of this pesky little neck tick that I have.
I would love to have that challenge.
All right, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.